I have to sharpen my knife. Okay, a lot of people ask me, because you guys know this is my favorite knife in the whole world, right? How do I sharpen it? With a rod sharpener. Yeah, it's not brain surgery, okay? So before I use it, literally every time before I use it, I just run it through here about 20, 30 times, okay? Depending on what I used it on last time. And then I run it underwater and clean it off. And I have a sharp knife that is ready to rock and roll. And I have beat this rod sharpener up. I'll put a link down below. You know the knife is always linked below. I love this knife so much that I use it for everything. But today we're going to talk about some unconventional ways to stock your pantry. Hello everyone and welcome to SuttonsDaze. If you're new here, my name is Lisa and we're all about pantry preparedness. Yes, we are, because your pantry is the best insurance that money can buy. It really is. I am not talking about zombies. I am not talking about the end of the world as we know it, okay? Because quite honestly, you have a better chance of stubbing your toe right now than that happening. But it's not that it couldn't happen. It quite possibly could. But it is more likely that you will deal with a job loss, or you will deal with a medical issue, or a financial hardship of some kind, or, you know, any number of things, weather-related emergencies. And that's where your pantry helps get you through. It does. So today, let's talk about some unconventional ways to stock your pantry, things you may or may not have thought about. And while we're doing that, I am also going to cut up these cabbages to get them ready to go into the dehydrator because, well, I like cabbage. And having kind of like instant cabbage soup in the wintertime is phenomenal. You dehydrate it, you can add it to a nice vegetable soup base, and it's perfect. It's done. Whoosh. There is no safe way to can cabbage, so I have to do it this way. I have my necessary coffee, right? I have something to put the cabbage in. I have the cabbage, I have my cutting board, and I have my newly sharpened knife. And this is what happens when you lay down your meat grinder things on the wood and leave it there, or on the bamboo. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, out of 20 possibilities, right? Unconventional pantry staples that save you money. Let's go. Number one, we have powdered milk. Powdered milk is so versatile. So versatile, you guys, okay? You can use it for baking and drinking and cooking, and it's a low-cost alternative to fresh milk and lasts a really long time. So Dawn grows the most amazing. Okay, so one is for the pigs and one is for the dehydrator. Most amazing cabbages, the size of your head. Anyway, so I always make sure to get some from her to put up for the winter. Number two. Vital wheat gluten. What? Yeah, vital wheat gluten. Swear to you. Okay, now my bread bakers will know about vital wheat gluten, right? This can be used to stretch flour for bread making and to make homemade sation. It's a meat substitute that is much cheaper than store-bought alternatives. So I can put a link down below regarding that. I'll see if anybody has a video. I don't know. Number three is coconut oil. We've talked about oil because oil does not have a long shelf life, okay? And so for that reason, you really don't want to super stock up on it. You basically want to stock up so that you have 6 months worth, because it's good for about 6 months, okay? But coconut oil is your exception to that rule. And so coconut oil is a good thing to have a little bit extra of. It'll last you a good long time, actually. It's shelf stable. It can be used for cooking, baking, or as a butter substitute. It's also a multi-purpose item for skin and hair care, depending on who you talk to, okay? Yeah, there was quite a while there where I was putting some of it in my coffee every morning because it was supposed to be so good for your skin and your hair. You know, back in the keto days. Keto? Yeah. But it depends on who you talk to, and it depends on what kind of coconut oil. There's refined and unrefined. So do your homework there, okay? Number four is instant mashed potatoes. I love me some taters. I even love instant mashed potatoes. I unabashedly love instant mashed potatoes. But you don't want to store the ones with the flavors, okay? That is not good. Because if they have the flavors like the butter and that kind of stuff, They don't last as long. They have a much shorter shelf life. But these are inexpensive for the most part, right? They're very lightweight, and they can be used to thicken soups, make casseroles, or, you know, side dishes, however you want to do it. So instant mashed potatoes are a great thing to stock up on if you can find a good price, or even if you get them just for their normal price, because they are really inexpensive. Just make it the non-flavored ones, okay? Simple is best. The next one is gelatin powder. Gelatin, because it is actually very good for you, right? It can be used to make homemade Jell-O, much better than the store-bought, right? And it can thicken sauces, or even as a protein supplement, because it has gelatin, okay? And so it's a really great extra protein. It's good for your hair, it's good for your nails, all of that fun stuff. So just plain gelatin powder, and then you can work it up any way that you want. I love it. The next one is TVP, otherwise known as textured vegetable protein. If you can do it, okay? A lot of people use it. A lot of vegetarians use it. I think, quite honestly, I think there was a rumor for a while that that's what Taco Bell was serving. Who knows? But it's not bad, you know. So it's an affordable protein alternative that lasts for years and can be used in soup, stews, or as a meat extender. So if you were to combine a little bit of ground beef with a little bit of TVP, then you actually have a great way to extend your meat. Personally, I would rather put lentils, but you know, everybody has their preferences. So you do you, boo, and it'll all be just fine. The next one is dehydrated vegetables. Hello. Okay, so dehydrated vegetables are awesome, and you don't have to make this difficult. You really, really don't, okay? You can dehydrate the frozen vegetables at the store. Canning mixed vegetables like corn, carrots, and peas, right? You have to can it for the corn time, which means you're going to annihilate the peas. So sometimes it's just better to dehydrate it, and it takes up so much less space, and it's not horrible to refresh it, you know. So you have to make a decision about which one works best for you. Dehydrated cabbage. Catch them when they're on sale, like March. Oh gosh, okay, St. Patrick's Day. Cabbage is always on sale. Catch a really great sale, dice that stuff up, put it in your dehydrator, put it in a nice airtight container, and you have dehydrated cabbage for a long time. Yes, and I mean, it's great to add to soups and stews and that kind of thing. It's fantastic. It refreshes beautifully. It tastes great. You get all the vitamins and all the minerals and all the good stuff. So you can either go from the raw state with a vegetable, or you can go and get those frozen vegetables if you find them on sale at your grocery store and do them up that way. The next one is vinegar. Did you know vinegar doesn't go bad? No, it doesn't. Now, apple cider vinegar might have a slightly shorter shelf life, but just plain 5% white vinegar, yeah, literally, it can last for years and years and years, okay? But as a pantry staple that saves you money, it has multiple uses, not only for food preservation, for cleaning, and even as a hair rinse, right? It's cost effective and it lasts a really long time. So the next one, all my friends down south will appreciate. Cornmeal. Yeah, cornmeal is kind of a staple, right? You can make all kinds of really great things. By the way, this is what real cabbage looks like, not the stuff you get at the grocery store. Anyway, cornmeal. You can make cornbread. Hello. You can make polenta, or you can use it as a coating for frying, right? It's cheap and can add variety to your diet. It really doesn't cost very much at all. I'm gonna have to fight this one, I can see already. Time to load up the tray with the cabbage. I don't know if I'm supposed to blanch it, but I don't. Dehydrating is much more forgiving than canning. The next one is bouillon cubes or powder. Yep, bouillon cubes or powder. Because, wow, that can really help make a meal taste better. They're inexpensive. I mean, they're super cheap, right? And whatever you do, don't tell Darcy about how much I'm stacking this, because she will not appreciate it, okay? Anyway, bouillon powder or cubes. They're inexpensive. They're long-lasting. They can enhance soups and stews and sauces. Add it to rice. Add it to your potatoes, right? And it costs pennies. absolute pennies, and it will last a really long time. Next on the list is powdered peanut butter. Powdered peanut butter, what? Yep, I did a whole video on this where I said powdered peanut butter like a whole bunch. Anyway, you can use it for so many things, you guys, and it tastes really good. We enjoy adding it to our protein shakes, okay? I got my grandson hooked on that, actually. It's a great extra source of protein. It technically has a longer shelf life than regular peanut butter, okay? You can make peanut butter out of it, so yeah, it's good. It's lighter, more shelf stable, and it's great for smoothies or as a protein boost in baking. So you can absolutely add it to your baked goods for that great peanut butter flavor. Good stuff. Oat flour, or you can make your own. Which, honestly, you know, making your own is very easy to do. So that is an option for your oatmeal, is to make your own oat flour. And oat flour can be used in a lot of different things, okay? So it's cheap, number one, and it can be ground into flour, so your oats, right, for baking. This adds nutritional value to bread, baked goods, and is very cost effective and kind of it's a gluten-free option, which is nice. So learning how to either cut down on the gluten or eliminate the gluten is helpful if you have some kind of gluten intolerance, right? Whew, and you just do it with oatmeal. Yes, that's great. The biggest problem with these big heads of cabbage is that you need a machete to get through them. But don't worry, we will persevere. We will have our cabbage. Yes, we will. And so will the pigs. Okay, so next, after the oat flour, is tapioca starch. It's more than just for pudding, my friends. Yes, it is. So it's a great thickener, again, thickening agent for making homemade puddings or gluten-free recipes. It's versatile and affordable. And if you have never tried it, it's definitely inexpensive enough to give it a go and see what kind of really cool things you can make with it, because every little bit helps, right? And a lot of times, like with canning, with home canning especially, you can't use thickeners in your soups. You have to add it after the fact. So it's really easy to use these things and make a slurry afterwards. And then you have a nice thick soup or stew with great flavor. And it's real stuff that makes it thick, not artificial stuff and, you know, and questionable ingredients. Yeah. The next one, powdered eggs. There's always questions about powdered eggs. Yes, you can bake with them, kind of, sort of, okay? Is that why I have them on hand? No, I don't have them on hand to bake with them. You don't have eggs, you can always use applesauce, okay? So you have to look at all the different alternatives, and honestly, sometimes you just have to give it a good old college try and see if it works for what you want to do. Do a little research. I can't do it all, okay? So, powdered eggs. They store much longer than fresh eggs, right? Much longer. But you're not going to get over easy out of them. So if that's a deal breaker, then, you know, go ahead. But they're cheaper per serving in the long run, and they're useful for baking and cooking. I love scrambled eggs, so I'm good. You know, you can make a quiche. You can make, burritos. You can make, scrambled eggs, that kind of stuff. And depending on the recipe and what you intend to get out of it, you can also use it for baking and for cooking. So, powdered scrambled eggs. What am I partial to? I'm partial to Thrive. Honestly, they're some of the best I've tried. There's a lot of different places that have them, but, if you're interested, hey, I am the world's worst consultant. I'm a Thrive Life consultant. I would love to be your consultant. And there's a link down below. Hit me up by email if you have any questions. Okay, so the next one is, hey, we're coming up in the right season for this, right? Canned pumpkin, my friends. Yes. Canned pumpkin can be used for so many things. And, a lot of people think it's really, really good. Yeah. So beyond just pies, or pumpkin treats, that kind of thing, it can be used in soups, casseroles, baked goods for a nutrient-dense, budget-friendly ingredient. I have actually used it in a pasta dish, and it turned out really good. Really, really good. So take a look at your canned pumpkin. And if you're a smoothie person, peanut butter pumpkin smoothies, what? You can use your peanut butter powder, you can use your pureed pumpkin, or if you have a dehydrator, you can dehydrate pumpkin, my friends, okay? But it really is a great addition to have on hand in your pantry. But you have to like pumpkin, just saying. If you don't like pumpkin, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, so we've got, that makes number 15. Number 16, pickling spices. Yep. Pickling, look at the mess I'm making. Pickling spices. I have a video for DIY pickling spice, and I will link that down below for you. But pickling spices are great. I mean, these allow you to preserve garden or bulk up purchased produce, extending the shelf life and reducing food waste. Don't let it go to waste. Pickle it, okay? Because pickles are awesome, and they can be nice and savory, and not everything needs to be sweet, darn it. That's the problem I'm running into, is everybody wants to make everything sweet. Let's have some savory. Let's get off the sweet kick. That's why we're all sick. Okay, so number 17, nutritional yeast. What? Lisa, come on. Stop it. You're making this up. No, I'm not really. I'm not making it up. Nutritional yeast is really good. It tastes like cheese. You can put it on your popcorn, okay? And, pardon me. And it's a cheap source of protein and vitamins that adds a cheesy flavor to dishes without the cost of dairy. So while you know I love my cheese, you know I love my dairy, right? Nutritional yeast, yeah, that goes a long way and gives you an awesome flavor. Highly recommend getting some. Next one is chia seeds. Chia seeds, it's not like a chia pet, just in case you were wondering, it's not. Chia seeds, though they seem like a luxury item, okay, because I get it, because have they turned everything into a luxury item? Chia seeds are inexpensive in bulk, and they are nutrient dense with a long shelf life, perfect for thickening and adding to recipes. So, a lot of people will put it in their overnight oats, they'll add it to their yogurt, any number of things. You could probably find a gazillion different recipes out there now for it, since it's become popular, right? But chia seeds, and it doesn't cost very much at all. And it's healthy. It's great. Okay, the next thing is masa. Okay, so masa is what they use. It's a type of corn flour to use for making homemade tortillas, tamales, or pupusas. Pupusas, yes. It's much cheaper than buying pre-made tortillas, and it's more versatile. I am definitely, this winter, we're going to be going on a homemade tortilla thing, and we will make it happen, you guys. Yes, we will. Number 20. This one might send you for a what? I don't know. So it's salted cod. Yes, salted cod. Though it might seem kind of exotic, right? Dried or salted fish can be a low-cost protein that lasts for years. Yes, you heard it here, years, and can be rehydrated when needed. So check into it. I have never personally used it, but it is something that is out there, and I want to know if you've tried it. Throw it in the comment section down below. I now have 1 3/4 of those cabbages in the dehydrator. So those are going to dry, and then I'll get to put them into a jar and seal it up, and I can use them all winter long for some really good soup. In the meantime, the other quarter that didn't fit in here, because cabbage takes up a lot of space, I'm going to make myself some soup for dinner tonight. And it's just another way to save some money and have the pantry stocked, right? Simple vegetable broth with some cabbage and maybe some of my canned ground beef or sausage. It's a great soup. I mean, it hits all the comfort bases, right? So these pantry items are not only frugal, which is huge nowadays, right? But they also provide a range of uses, and that's what we want. We don't want just to buy something that does one thing. We want it to do many things, and that makes it a frugal and functional pantry. And if it lasts a little bit longer on the shelf, even better yet. I hope this list helps you think of ways to expand your pantry, different uses for different things, substitutes for those things that don't last as long, because the more that we can maximize what is in our pantry and make it last longer and do more things, the better for all of us. If you want to see more about ways to stock your pantry, check out this playlist right here. And until next time, everybody, be safe and stack it to the rafters.